Welcome to the Insurance Voice of South Texas. This is Eric Cervantes, and I'm here with Jeremy Hansen. He's with Texas Mutual, and he's a safety service regional manager. Jeremy, tell me a little bit about your role at Texas Mutual. What do you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So our safety services team is a group of about 50 employees located throughout the state. And our role is to help our policyholders prevent employee injuries. So we do that by meeting with business owners, talking to them about their operations, evaluating their work sites, and connecting them with free safety training resources and other safety materials that we have available for our customers. So our goal is to partner with our policyholders to keep their workers safe, which also helps to control their insurance costs.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that your role is invaluable in the insurance industry. I'm a certified risk manager. I know that a lot of the members of the independent insurance agents of San Antonio are heavy driven on risk management and being able to bring resources from the insurance carrier that can help translate into the clients' businesses to help them understand that we're not just talking about an insurance policy and the cost of insurance, but actually looking at it holistically through risk management and loss controls and other things like that. The role that you guys play is invaluable, and we definitely appreciate it on the agency side because you guys make us look good.
That's the goal, yeah.
Well, I know that 2020 has been a little bit of a unique year for not only the insurance industry, but just the market in general. And COVID-19 has created some challenges, as you could say, in the business. How is the safety service team helping your policyholders address those challenges?
Well, right now, we're taking several different steps to try to ensure that our policyholders have the resources they need to continue to operate safely. On the COVID front, what we're doing right now is we're hosting a series of webinars featuring Dr. Edward Bernacki, who works at UT Medical School. So during our webinars, what he usually does is he'll provide updates on the virus, he'll provide an overview of emerging medical research from his institution, and he'll also provide our policyholders with tips on COVID prevention strategies for their industry. We're also in the Safety Services Department continuing to meet with policyholders virtually over Zoom meetings and telephonically in order to continue supporting their ongoing safety efforts. So we've been able to continue offering our standard services like claim trend analysis and safety program reviews and consultations on how to access the free safety resources available through Texas Mutual. And the other thing we've done recently is we've developed a new safety resource for our policyholders to use, which is a policy template for developing a COVID prevention program. So that COVID prevention program is a Word document that our policyholders can download, and it includes sample company policies on topics like social distancing, mask use, cleaning procedures, and having visitors come to your facility.
Okay, and so when you talk about those policies that you have, are there any other recommendations that you guys are making for small businesses or businesses in general as they're trying to operate during this COVID-19?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not a scientist or a medical expert, but most of the people who are experts are saying that the most common method of COVID transmission is through in-person, face-to-face contact. So what we're recommending is two big categories of controls. So the two best things a company can do to try to limit the transmission potential in their workplace is to limit how much in-person contact is happening in their workplace, and then to implement control measures that reduce the transmission potential when in-person contact does have to occur. So on the side of limiting face-to-face contact, we're recommending that small businesses have employees work from home whenever it's feasible. We're also recommending that our policyholders ensure that their employees understand that they can't come to work if they have any COVID symptoms. And we're also recommending that our policyholders only permit visitors for essential business purposes. So doing those three things, work from home, keeping employees home when they're sick, and limiting visitors. All those things will reduce the number of people at a company's facility, which just naturally reduces the potential for COVID to spread there. But in most cases, there are still some essential employees who are having to come to a job site or come to an office in order to do their work. And that's where the other set of controls comes into play. So in terms of reducing transmission potential, of course, there's a variety of industry-specific controls. But the big three things, actually four things that we're recommending are avoiding large gatherings by holding company meetings through conference calls or video calls whenever possible, following local health department guidance on mask use, setting social distancing expectations, like not congregating in break rooms or common areas. And then the last one is cleaning the workplace regularly and also providing cleaning supplies so that employees can clean their own workstations throughout the day. So if any of your clients come to you with questions or concerns, I know I just threw out 7 different items there. If your clients come to you with questions or concerns about how to effectively limit COVID spread in their workplace or how to continue their operations in this environment, I'd encourage you to tell them to reach out to either their local Texas Mutual Safety Services consultant if they've met with one in the past, or if they haven't, they can call our Safety Services Support Center at 844-WORK-SAFE, which is 844-967-5723. They're really experienced at helping walk policyholders through the different safety resources we have available and the different best practices for a whole bunch of different hazards, but specifically COVID-19.
Okay. Well, I mean, everything that you're talking about makes complete sense and it's completely logical, but it's awesome to hear it from somebody like yourself, because these are things that you just sometimes don't think about. The reality is most of us as a small business owner, I know that I have my employees working from home and we're able to do that pretty easily through cloud systems that we use and everything else. And so it makes sense to do these things, but to be able to hear about the large groups congregating and having stuff for their own employees to be able to clean their own workspaces and things like this, as simple as it sounds, it's stuff that you need to hear because a lot of times you don't think about it. So definitely appreciate, the fact that Texas Mutual has the resources and the department available to be able to guide our policyholders through this process. What other questions are you getting from policyholders as far as what they can be doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things we've gotten questions about that really ties together the challenges of dealing with the COVID pandemic, as well as just the general challenges of continuing to run your regular operations safely, is that we've gotten policyholders calling us asking about how to train their employees effectively while still trying to implement these social distancing strategies. So it's a lot tougher now for a company to run a big safety meeting for their whole workforce. But on the other hand, if their business is still operating, their team is still working, then they do still need to be providing some type of safety training to employees on a regular basis. So we have 2 main recommendations to address that issue, because that's a common one that's affecting a lot of our policyholders right now is how do we continue training safely while also not exposing our employees to COVID. So one recommendation we have is to hold safety meetings outdoors in smaller groups with participants at least 6 feet apart. And we have a whole library of resources called toolbox talks that are intended to be used for small scale safety meetings just like those. And in a lot of cases, training in smaller groups has some other benefits too. It provides better opportunities for employees to speak up and participate in the discussion rather than just passively receiving the training content. And that can make the training more valuable and more likely to influence the way the employees are actually completing their work, which is how you actually prevent injuries from happening. So doing small scale toolbox talks meetings rather than big company-wide safety meetings is one option. The other training option that's available to to Texas Mutual policyholders is to use our e-learning resources to train their employees. So we have a library of about 200 different computer-based safety training courses that can be assigned to individual employees. The employees can then log in through a portal and complete the training course online through a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop. So that's another great way for your clients to get training into the hands of their workers without having to actually hold a big in-person meeting.
Right. Yeah. No. That makes sense, and I really do appreciate you coming on today and talking to us, Jeremy. I mean, loss control is such a huge thing that businesses are trying to get their hands around on the type of loss controls they can put in place and what they need to do now. There's different risks that we're talking about now than we had even thought were risks 6 months ago. And so your team and your department and what you guys do is invaluable. Why don't you give us one more time your information? How do we get a hold of you? How do the policyholders be able to get to the resources that you're talking about?
Sure. So the best way to get a hold of the Texas Mutual Safety Services Department is to call us at 844-WORK-SAFE, which is 844-967-5723. Our policyholders can also reach us by email at safety@texasmutual.com. So those are the two best ways to get a hold of us. Or if you have an established relationship with one of our 30 different safety consultants that are located all throughout the state, you can always just send an email or make a phone call to your local consultant as well.
Great. And worst case scenario, you call your agent and they point you in the right direction, right? So we'll try and do our best to do that too. But Jeremy, I sure do appreciate you coming on and talking to us today and providing us with all the invaluable information.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Have a great day. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.